sorry I can't make a live class for you this week, so hopefully this video will do instead. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do some chair yoga today, so I'm going to suggest that you grab any old chair, preferably not one with wheels. It doesn't really matter if it has a back or not, just make sure there's enough space for you to sit on, and you can get your feet on the floor. So if you have long legs and your knees are quite elevated above hip height when you're sitting still, then grab a cushion or a book or a block or something and pop it under your bum, so you've got a nice right angle roughly at the knees, certainly that they're not any higher than your hips, with your feet flat on the ground. If you are the other way around, you have short legs and your feet are floating, then pop the cushion or block, book, whatever it is you have, underneath your feet. Sometimes a folded blanket is good for this, just so that you've got your feet flat fairly firmly on something, and yeah, that you can sit kind of nice and tall. And then again, if you have short arms, maybe grab something. We're going to come do a seated twist with our hand on the floor, so if the floor is a long way away from your hand, grab something to pop underneath it. So that's why I've got that. So you can just go to one side for the moment, and then just finding somewhere fairly comfortable to sit with your bum firmly on the chair, feet flat on the ground. I'm actually going to grab a blanket and fold that. Slightly short legs going on, just so it's nice and firm. So nice flat feet, nice long spine, resting your hands just comfortably on your knees for the moment, sitting comfortably but fairly tall, just so there's lots of space for your breath. Resting your hands on your knees, taking a breath in through the nose, sighing out of the mouth, and letting your eyes close. Just breathe in comfortably through the nose. If you want to take a few more little sighs, letting the breath escape out of your mouth, feel free to do that. Just give yourself a few moments to settle, to get comfortable. And then when you're ready, lips can close. Be breathing through the nose and just starting to be a little bit curious about your breath. What do you notice about your breath? Maybe also noticing how you feel, how your breath feels to you at the moment. Whether it feels like it's hard work, or is it easy? Is it comfortable? More widely, starting to notice how your body feels. Is it tired? Is it tense? Just noticing anything you spot. And it might be good things. It might be that your body feels great today. Feels you've had a good night's sleep. You've not been too stressed, not been too busy. Things feel fine. Placing your hands on your belly, so between your sort of ribs and your belly button. Starting to draw a deeper breath. You can feel the belly inflating and softening underneath your hands. Finding a nice steady breath. Longer than your normal breath, a little deeper, but not too much hard work. Noticing how soft and fluid your breath is, steady and controlled. Keeping that breath going, sliding your hands around to the side of your body and up a little bit so that your hands are resting on the sides of your rib cage. Keeping that breath deep, but seeing if you can also start to breathe into the sides of your ribs so that your rib cage almost presses into your hands as you breathe in. In our natural quiet breathing, we don't use all of our lungs. So we're just using this opportunity to get all of them working. Once that breath feels nice and solid, nice and established, bringing the hands to prayer in front of your heart. Start with some sun circles with the arms. So whenever your next breath comes, as you inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, up overhead so that the palms of the hands touch. And as you exhale, the hands come down to the heart again. Do 4 more of those, so inhaling again to sweep up and exhaling to bring the hands to your heart. Going at your own speed, letting your breath guide the movement. So using the full length of the breath in to bring the hands together and the full breath out to bring the hands to heart. Probably only 1 or 2 more left. After your last one, I'm going to do 1 more inhale and sweep the arms up. This time when the hands touch, interlace the fingers and press the heels of the hands up towards the sky. So maybe have a little wriggle, nice stretch, trying to make the sides of your waist as long as possible. Pressing the palms up to the sky. Keeping that full breath into the belly, into the sides of the ribs. Take a little twist, so on your next exhale you're going to turn to your right, the left hand will come to the outside of the leg, and the back hand can come onto the side of the chair, so it might just come to sort of your hip or it might come to the back of the chair. Looking over the shoulder behind you, letting your eyes roll all the way around in the socket, so you can still have them closed but just moving the eyeballs. Making sure you've still got space to breathe, so sitting tall, long waist. And if your breathing feels tight or restricted, then maybe just release the twist a little bit. Maybe just grab the back of the chair with the hook of the elbow instead of the hand. Nice big breath. Your next inhale will sweep the arms up overhead as you face front again. Exhale to take the twist to the other side. So again, sitting tall, maybe turning the head over the back shoulder, letting the eyes roll all the way around again. Still trying to find that long spine, that deep breath. And it might feel that you have more or less space on this side, so just pay attention to that, work with that. Don't worry about what happened on the first side. None of us are symmetrical, so it's not necessarily going to be the same move on one side and the other. As long as you can breathe and sit tall, you're all good. next inhale is going to sweep the arms up as you face front again. This time on your exhale, folding forward so your chest maybe comes to rest on your legs. Hands reach down to the ground, just letting your head be heavy. Breathing here. If folding right forward feels a bit awkward, you can lift yourself up a little bit. If you've got something to pop your hands on for a little bit of support, you can do that. And stretching out through the back of the body. So you might want to target your breath into your back ribs this time. Where there's a little less restriction, maybe a little bit more space. One more breath down here. And then you have a choice. You can come to fingertips on the floor and straighten the spine, lift the head, just looking forward slightly. If that feels far away, you can bring the hands maybe to your shins or to your knees, elbows a little bent. Just trying to find a nice long straight spine, long neck. So you're gazing forward but still at the floor, so you're not, you've got a long neck still. Big breaths here. On an exhale, folding forward again, being heavy, resting. And we're going to use an inhale to come up, so you can roll, you can use your hands for a bit of support, whatever feels nice. Finding that nice tall spine again at the end. Eyes can be open or closed, just some nice slow shoulder rolls. Nice exaggerated movements. Seeing if you can keep your spine fairly still as you roll the shoulders. Letting the hands move so that you've got all the space you need. And then coming back the other way. And we're going to take the knees apart. So you might need to shuffle further forward on your seat. You might need to adjust anything that's underneath your feet. Sitting tall again, finding your spot. On an inhale, sweeping the arms up high. Exhale, you're going to fold forward again, so the hands come to the floor, or if you need something underneath them, and you might not know just yet, coming down. You're going to place the left hand on the floor, or the block, or whatever it is, underneath your face. And then we're going to inhale and lift the right hand up to the sky. So you're really trying to roll open through the chest as much as you can and keep the spine nice and long. Still space for that breath. If the neck feels weird looking up at that top hand, and you can drop the gaze to the bottom one. But reach through those fingertips to keep the chest nice and broad. Pressing through that bottom hand a little bit to help lift up. Last breath on this side. Then on an exhale, folding down, switching the hands, and inhale to lift the other arm up to the sky. Again, finding that long spine, reaching up, opening the chest, finding the right spot for your gaze. Exhale to fold forward again. And we're going to inhale to lift ourselves all the way back up. Come in for a side stretch. So we're going to go to the right first. So inhale to sweep the arms up. Right elbow is going to come down to the knee. Kind of trying to keep the spine long, reaching over with that top hand. Again, reaching through those fingertips, trying not to collapse through the shoulder, crunch through the lower side of the waist, trying to keep everything long, lots of space. So it's up to you how far down your leg, your arm is. If you need to take a less dramatic side stretch, then just bring the elbow a little bit closer to the body. Almost trying to spin the chest up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling, making space. On an inhale, we're going to lift up. And then exhale, switching the arms, coming over to the other side. So again, don't worry about what the shape looked like on the first side. Just find the right spot for you and your breath on this side. Last breath here. Inhale to sweep the arms back up overhead. Exhale, find another forward fold, this time bringing both hands flat on the ground and letting the head hang, letting the back round. Using an inhale to lift yourself back up. Okay, so you might need to shuffle some stuff out of the way. We're going to turn to the side and bring ourselves forward on the chair so that the front leg drops off. You're going to try and get that front knee, you can use the back of the chair for a bit of support, to hang below your hip. Toes tuck so that you can press down into the ground with that back toe. And on an inhale, sweeping up and leaning towards the back of the chair for another side stretch. You might feel this one in your hip as well. If you've got enough space, maybe you can tuck the tailbone, drawing it down towards the back of the knee, towards the floor. Have a little play, see how that feels. On an inhale, lifting up. I'm just going to turn to the other side. Take your time. Keep that steady breath. So again, knee drops below the hip, toes tucked so you can press into the ground. Maybe tucking your tailbone down towards the floor as well. Inhale to reach the arm up. Exhale to take a little lean. Keep pressing through that front foot, reaching through those fingertips. On an inhale, lifting up, bringing yourself to the front again. We're going to perch on the front of the chair for this one, so shuffle yourself forward. Take the hands to the back of the seat, so if you have got a back on your chair, maybe holding on to the lowest part where the back of the chair comes up from the seat of the chair. Again, nice flat feet, trying to get that nice bend in the knees so that your feet feel nice and solid, so that you can press down into the ground beneath you and then lift the chest up towards the sky. Keeping the chin a little bit tucked, taking care not to drop the head back, just keeping that neutral neck position. Again, finding that breath, if it becomes a bit tough, maybe sitting a little less dramatically with that bend in your back. You might feel this across the front of your chest, across your pecs. Last breath. We're inhaling to sit up. You can scoot your bum back on your chair again. Remove any extra bits. And then we're going to do a little bit of work on the outside of the hips this time. So we'll start with the right leg. Taking the bone just above the ankle onto the knee, pressing this lifted knee down towards the ground, so you're like making a little bit more space through that hip. And then it's up to you how far you come forward. We're going to do another forward fold. So we're going to inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. So you might just want to come a little forward and rest, no weight through them, just rest the hands on that lifted leg. Keep pressing that knee down using your thigh muscles. If you have more space, you might come further forward. We're not looking for any strong sensations because of the shape you're in. It's likely that some stretching is happening. So focusing on your ability to breathe rather than how deep your stretch feels. Just focusing your gaze softly on something or closing your eyes. Steady breaths. On an inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to bring that knee into the chest, interlacing the hands around the shin. Just squeeze the knee into the body. Still sitting nice and tall. And we're going to roll the ankles, so drawing a nice big circle with your toes. And then back the other way. Still trying to sit up tall. Releasing that foot to the ground. Other side. So just above the ankle joint, resting on the knee, sitting up tall, pressing that top knee down towards the ground. As you inhale, sweep the arms up. And then as you exhale, find your forward fold. So again, it might feel really different on this side compared to the first. That's absolutely fine. Just do what feels right on this side. Keeping the spine long, the breath steady. On an inhale, lifting yourself up. Knee comes into the chest, hands interlaced around the shin, squeezing the knee into the body as you sit nice and tall. And starting to draw those nice big circles with your toes. Nice and slowly, lots of bones in that ankle. Give them all a little bit of time to move around and then back the other way. I don't know if you can hear my ankle clicking. Okay, and releasing it down, back to the ground, maybe shuffling back so you can sit tall again. Take a moment to breathe. And take some golden thread breaths to start to wind down with. So when you're ready, just gently breathing in through the nose, nice and slowly, going as long as you need to until your lungs feel full. So the sides of your ribs feel full, belly feels full, everything nice and inflated. And then just creating a tiny little gap between your lips, exhaling by pressing the air out through that little gap. Imagine yourself spinning a golden thread between the lips and blowing it away so that it pools on the ground in front of you. Keep pressing that air steadily out until you run out of puff. Just going for as long as you need to till it's all gone. And then gently starting again, so breathing in. Exhaling. small. When you're done, letting go of any control over your breath, letting it settle to a comfortable, natural rhythm. If you feel the need to take a little sigh, take a little sigh. Take a big sigh if that feels good. And then start to be curious about that breath again. Take a moment to compare it to your breath at the beginning of the practice. And the same with your body, those sensations you feel, how easy or difficult your breathing feels, how tired or tense or good your body feels. Just make a little note, compare back. We'll just close the practice by bringing your hands to prayer at the heart. Taking a little moment to thank each other for sharing this time, sharing this practice together. When you're ready, bringing your prayer to your forehead. The thumbs touch the third eye space just between the eyebrows. Using that as a little reminder to think kind thoughts. Taking the prayer to the lips, a reminder to speak kind words. And taking the hands, the prayer, back to the heart as a reminder to do kind actions. And then finishing the practice with a little bow forward, marking the end. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.